Okay, in-car movie review.
On a different camera.
On a different camera, yes. Okay, so we have just finished watching, well, last night we finished watching The Fearway, a 2023 movie directed by Robert Graylick? Gragic? I'll put it on the screen. In essence, there's this couple that is on their way to see her father when they hit
Something.
Yeah, there's nothing in the roadway that they hit.
Nothing, something, whatever. Yeah. Now, and it's one of those, you watch the trailer, it looks like it might be a good car chase horror movie. But, no.
Yeah, no. There's nothing scary. There's no good car chases whatsoever. They just follow each other bumper to bumper, and they do that 3 or 4 or 5 times. It gets old the first time, and they do it several times.
And reuse scenes and everything else.
Yes.
And it's interesting what vehicles they're using, which was kind of an interesting concept just because it's new vehicles. You don't see much of kind of fall into what the classic horror films would be. It would be your classic muscle car versus station wagon.
Yeah.
But instead of being, well, it was a muscle car. It had a Challenger and a new Dodge Challenger, and the other car was a new Kia Soul.
Yes.
So it was interesting on the fact that, okay, you got modern cars with kind of the old chase scene, structure. So it had potential there.
It did.
They didn't do anything with it, but it had potential there.
Yeah, and they could have easily gotten some good chase. And
you can't shut her up.
Yeah, I turned the wrong volume knob. There we go. They could have easily gotten several old Kia Souls if they had a budget of more than a cheese sandwich, gotten several old Kia Souls together and wrecked them and had some good chase scenes with the Challenger and the Kia Soul. Some good stunt scenes that would have been good to see with this.
And you have, and it's once again, there's a stop in the desert, middle of nowhere, yada yada, same type. May have been the same motel setting as Rubber, which Rubber was a better movie.
Yeah,
saying something.
Yeah, I think it was the same one.
But if you want to, for some reason, watch this horrible movie without any spoilers, I would say stop now. But otherwise, we're going to get into spoiler stuff now.
Yeah,
because it's got to be, because this is not a recommend to watch.
No, this one I'd recommend skipping this one unless you really like bad movies. You like making fun of them.
Or you're a big fan of Kia Souls. Yeah,
if you're a big fan of Kia Souls, there's some great, well, not even stunt driving of a Kia Soul that has been rented. You could see the no smoking frickin' stickers in the windows.
Yeah. Obviously a rental.
Yes.
And that's where I was going to say for the spoilers on that, because there's stuff that comes up and there's stuff that were done badly in the movie, where there's inconsistencies on vehicles particularly.
Yeah. So,
but you get into it and it ends up being like we said, they hit something, get out of the car, can't find anything to be hit, and then they start getting chased by this person in a Challenger.
Yes, that looks like he's a fan of Korn or Ghost or something on their way to a concert.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Something. Now, it's just one of those. It's going to be, okay, so we've got a death metal fan? Maybe?
Yeah. No, that'd be new metal.
New metal fan? Nah, he was too much for new metal. Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. I would say more new metal than death metal. Not enough face tattoos for death metal.
True. Well, it's one of those things. I've actually had friends that, short of the teeth, dress like that.
Yeah, me
down
too.
to the makeup.
Me too. They didn't. They short of the teeth, doing the filed teeth thing that the character had. They dressed like that, and that's why I said that, because it, looked like they's a fan of one of those bands or going to a concert. And hey,
the teeth were nothing special. They were actually not out of range either, because they're the type you can get at Spirit Halloween.
Yes, it's exactly.
Spirit Halloween teeth.
Pretty much. They're not really all that. And the whole movie, look, like I said, when I say a budget of a cheese sandwich, I am not exaggerating. They rented a single Kia Soul, which is why they don't even have a single car wreck. I think they just found a wrecked PT Cruiser.
That was silver, so they ran a silver Soul and said, that's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the inconsistency. You get through there and you're going through the cycle, and when they finally find their in real life vehicle, it's a wrecked PT Cruiser, and you're trying to figure out, why are they freaking out over a wrecked PT Cruiser? That's not what they're driving.
Random figures out.
And it's one of those things. It's like they should have just bought a PT Cruiser for $1,500 and had it be their car, and then it would have been interesting. They could have done actual stunts and tore the car up, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
And it would have been more interesting. It would have been more of what it looked like it was going to be, a core horror film. Instead of a thing on being stuck in limbo and they can't even figure out what to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a movie that's about being stuck in limbo, and they can't figure out that it's limbo.
They can't figure out it's, that just, they're on the edge of death and yada, yada, yada. And it's really about existential life choices and things. And as I said, but as I think I've said before, everything is heavy-handed.
Very heavy-handed, and they couldn't figure out where they were going with it. At times, it felt like it was going to be it almost felt like a religious film at times. But they wouldn't commit. They wouldn't commit to much of anything. I'm not going to fault the actors. The actors did okay, but you could tell that the actors and actresses, some of them were so disgusted with the lines they had to read that they were just there.
Yeah.
That you could tell when they really didn't like their dialogue.
Yeah.
Because they did pretty decent, and then they get to a point and like, they're forcing us to read this.
Which I would give this movie a solid 3. I could slip into 2 with this. It is a very bad film.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2 because it's not just bad, it's disappointing. You could forgive the bad acting and all that stuff, but they spent too long going in loops on the story. They couldn't quite decide what they wanted to call what they were.
They started off, they didn't know where they wanted the story to go. The story.
There's a whole lot of, you can't figure out where they're going, and they change. They don't commit to anything, and they kind of stay that way the whole time, not committed to anything.
Yeah.
And so it's and it went for, and you had some neat things to go off of. It was based on the ferryman. The bad guy's the ferryman. But he's not really a bad guy, and that's one of those. It's like it's very heavy-handed, very badly, just kind of badly done. And there was, and the preview showed something that wasn't even relevant. When you saw the preview, you got the sense that it was going to be more tense, more scary than it actually was. I'll give it one thing: they did a good job with the trailer. On the trailer, making you interested in thinking it's going to actually be a horror movie.
Yes. For car spotting, there's not anything to spot other than the grill of an old Chevy truck pickup.
And the background of, I think, of another late 50s, early 60s car.
Yeah.
But you can't really see enough of it to tell what it is. Enough of it long enough to really tell what it is without going back and pausing, which I didn't really bother with. It wasn't that good a movie.
No.
And like I said, the most screen time is to the Kia Soul, which would have been neat, and if it had better stuff, better chasing stuff, it could have shown off a car you don't see that's a common car on the road. But no, No, they didn't do that. And the sad thing is, it would have been better if they just bought an old PT Cruiser, so they could have actually done stupid stuff with the car and tore it up.
Yeah.
And had interesting car scenes, because they spend a lot of time in a car doing nothing.
That they rented.
Yeah. And so most of the car is them. Most of the movie is them in a rental car.
Yes. It's them in a rental car and them sitting at a diner. That's kind of the movie. They should have had the car at night. They should have recorded it at night instead of in the afternoon. They should have had it, gotten a car you can get cheap, that they could get a series of these cars and just tear up. And if it's at night and they're all kind of oddly colored, you could just spray paint them the same color and nobody will know.
You can deal with the fact that the Challenger never touched it. You can have that be the nice car and never have it touched, because you can freak people out, and that's been done before in horror movies, where the entity is not necessarily going to make contact.
Yeah.
But you have a lot better. I mean, shoot, we watched a movie that wasn't a car movie, and Moose.
No, it was Moose the movie.
Yeah.
Which
had better
car stunts.
Better car stunts than that did.
Yeah.
And better car spotting, and it was lower budget. It had less of a budget than this movie did.
Yeah. Which we'll do a review of that one.
We're going to do a review of that one because that was not planned.
Yeah. So, again, the Fearway, stay away. Yeah. Unless you just want to drink and make fun of it. If you do, don't pick dialogue. If you pick dialogue for your drinking game,
you'll need a new liver.
Your liver will never recover.
And if you otherwise, the only reason I can say to do it is, I've got a friend that's a big Kia Soul fan. He hates horror movies, but if he liked horror movies, I said, this is a horrible one, but you get a lot of good shots of a new Kia Soul. Which
leads to the question, what could be a good car to do for a new style of car movies, like the old 70s car movies? I think Kia Soul would be a good candidate for something like that. I think
it's a great replacement for the family sedan and the station wagon, or the van that you ended up being in when you're being chased by a muscle car. And the Challenger still works as a good muscle car for the bad guy.
It absolutely does. I think that... so if you're out there and you're thinking, I need an idea, you can get a Kia Soul. Don't rent it.
Get one of the older ones.
Yeah, get one of the old...
The PT Cruiser would have actually been a good one, because they're cheap, they're still everywhere, they're not worth anything, and they're still an interesting vehicle.
Or you can actually just contact Kia and tell them you want to star their car in a stunt car movie. Yeah. They'll probably give you 5.
And it's not going to be insulting it. That's it. It's one of those. It's like, you can always do that.
Yeah,
it's worth looking into it for car movies. I know they don't.
Yeah, that's the reason.
The car industry doesn't put the money into it like they used to, but it's still worth reaching out and seeing if you can do it for advertise, because it would be great advertisement.
That's the reason why they did Bullet the way they did, the classic Bullet movie with Steve McQueen. It was advertising the Ford Mustang, and they got the movie studio told them, hey, we're doing this, it's going to be based on the Ford Mustang, and they got for free several Ford Mustangs to do the hero car with. So I guess it's still possible.
Yeah, you can still get it, and it's still worth doing. But even if you can't, then you just think outside the box a little bit, and you don't have to have new cars.
Yeah, make it an old car that they fixed up. Maybe they're a car enthusiast. Make it an old car that they get fixed up. Something.
Or even not, because how many of us are now still stuck driving the 90s and aughts cars that we got in college?
Yeah, because of, oh, you want a new base model car? That's going to be $45,000. Yeah. And our brand new APR of 9%. $1,200 a month. Sure, here you go, pal. Why is nobody buying my car? Sorry for that rant. Anyways, but that's our review of the Fearway. Not a recommend from either one of us. He gives it a 2, I give it a 3, and hope you've enjoyed at least the clips of that I've stuck in here, and some of the Midwest fall color countryside.
And we're still working on the Subaru. It's just more complications.
Yes, more complications. All right, y'all have a good one.
Till next time.
Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you enjoy us doing this, let us know, please.